Okay, marketing. Here we go again. It's my most favorite thing to record a 12-minute video and find out that I had myself muted the whole time. So, welcome back. I don't know that I look as good as I did last week. I'm rocking the ponytail today. I don't have my earrings in, and I still have my trusty glasses. But if you did actually look at the other video, I promise you this is a clean gray sweatshirt. So, I'm not wearing the same clothes every day, just different sweats every day. So I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you had a chance to get out over the weekend and enjoy that gorgeous weather on Saturday, not so much on Sunday. Maybe you're watching The Last Dance on ESPN. It's so great about Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. Or maybe you have something new on Netflix that you're loving. That would be really awesome too. On Netflix, I totally loved Outer Banks. I think I have a thing for little like series shows like that. So I hope you guys are doing well. So here's our learning plan for this week. I'm going to go over 4 different things with you this week. Your learning plan. We're also going to take a look at our information on developing print ads and social media posts. We're also going to take a look at what we have going on with this week's activity. We actually are working in conjunction with PJ Wheelahands, and then also want to give you a short little demo on what's going on with Canva. I know some of you are very familiar with it and others are resistant. And also in our assignment for this week, we actually have 2 other video links, so if you don't like my explanation of Canva, then you're more than welcome to choose something else. So what we have going on this week, obviously we've got our learning plan that's going to be due by midnight tonight. Today is Monday. I normally do these the week before. We're also going to work on this thing called the 2020 PJ's print ad. That's going to be a Schoology, and we're going to follow suit with the same idea that's going to be due by midnight on Friday. Now let's go ahead and jump into some of this stuff. For those of you that like to know what chapter this is and how all these things work out, this is actually going to be chapter 20 for us. It says print ads, but what I want to focus on for you is that the print ad is really focusing on the percentages and the layouts of the size of what these ads look like. I think you're going to find that it is a 100% direct translation into what we have going on with social media posts. You guys definitely know by now that social media posts with images are going to go much farther and have a much broader reach than our posts that are only all text. So let's jump right into this. As we go on through, for those of you again that are Decadorks and you like to know all this stuff, here are different performance indicators that we have going on with some of our Deca stuff. So what happens with advertising agencies? What are the components of the ad? That's going to be a big focus for us. How does the technology work? And then also demonstrate appropriate creativity. You did not sign up for an art class, so our focus on this is going to be more on our percentage layouts and correctly formatting a header and also copy. So that's our main focus here, not so much the artwork. So let's start out with a quick example. When you look at this ad, I want you to look at it for me, and I'm going to give you about 3 seconds to take a look at it. Okay, so now let's take a look at these questions and see what you think. I want you to stop and think for a second, what was the illustration that popped out to you? The second thing I want you to think about was the headline and where was it located? And the third thing I'd like you to think about is which company was this ad representing? All right, once you have your ideas together, let's take a look back at the ad again. So our illustration is obviously this not so svelte soccer player right here in the middle of the screen. And it stood out to me that he was in red. And what you can see real quick with this illustration is just to the naked eye, your illustration is going to take up most of your page. So our illustrations in proper print ads should be around 60% or more of the page. What we're also going to notice is that our headline is going to be right here. If you can't play manage, I want you to notice the size of it. I also want you to notice that it doesn't have the name of the company in there, and it's not always at the top and it's not always at the bottom. So they've got that creative liberty of what they can do. And then you're going to see right down here, this is from The Sun. So this is just really a little competition. I believe The Sun is I think it's like a London newspaper or a tabloid or something, and it basically was like a chance on, I think it's like a chance on winning tickets to the World Cup or something to that effect. So I want you to notice the size of this. This is going to be known as our signature right down here. Now this ad doesn't really have a lot of copy. Copy is where it kind of explains to you what's going on, but we're going to take a look at a few other examples with that moving forward. So when we take a look at these print ads, we've got some really cool stats over here on the right-hand side. We know that when people see print ads, now remember that we're talking about in like print, billboard, anything like that, transit advertising as well, but we're also talking about social media. So in the first 1 to 3 seconds, that's all we have to grab the attention with the illustration. That's the first thing they're going to see. And then in 1 to 5 seconds, they might possibly stop and read the headline, but we also have data that shows us that not everybody even reads the headline. And then the third thing they take a look at is going to be the copy. And what we find here is that 9 out of 10 people will not even read the copy. So we have to kind of keep that in mind as we move on down through. So what does an advertising campaign actually do? So an advertising campaign is going to be a group of advertisements, promotional items, maybe commercials and direct mail and email blast and social media post, and it's all going to be sending the same message to get the word out about a product or a service or a company that you're going to be advertising for. Beyond that, when we take a look at it, let's take a look at these different ads. So when we take a look at these ads that we've got listed here, I'm sure you're going to recognize some, and I'm sure others, you're not necessarily going to recognize. So what we want to figure out is which one of these ads was awarded the best ad campaign by of the 21st century by Ad Age. So Ad Age is a really cool site. They, if you go to adage.com, you can take a look at all the stuff they have going on there. It first started out as a publication, Advertising Age magazine. It's very well known in the fields of marketing and advertising. All right, so make a guess on which one of these you think is actually best. Okay, and here you go. So I think you probably are old enough to remember this campaign. This was this Dove campaign for Real Beauty. This shot you would have seen might have been more of like a billboard kind of ad or a magazine ad or a little something like that. And then what you might remember from that is it had several different components of this campaign where it was, maybe a couple of these women together, maybe a single person together or something like that. And so it was basically all these different portions that went along with this overarching ad campaign that we actually see. So I think that's pretty cool that, but that is the one that is recognized. You might want to look this up on your own as well. This is a totally awesome one. This came in about number 2, and Procter & Gamble, abbreviated P&G, and it's called Thank You Mom. And a lot of times they air these during the Olympics. Sometimes I think we actually saw them during a lot of sporting events and World Cup and stuff like that. You can take a look on YouTube. There are some really awesome ones, but it basically is like some famous athletes and they're thanking their mothers, and it's one of their most successful advertising campaigns ever. What you see over here, this would have been the television commercial, and then over here on the left, this is going to give you an example of some of the collateral that they've got that goes along with it. So this was going to be their website, thankyouMom.com. Go ahead and check it out if you would like to. In our advertising campaign, what's going to happen is if you work for an agency or if you work for a company inside an advertising and marketing department and you need to come up with a plan on how you're going to do this, these are the 6 different elements that you're going to take a look at. I want you to notice that we've done in this class a marketing plan and also a promotional plan. And what I want you to notice is item number 1, and then in this case, item number 6. So in item number 1, it says identify the target audience. It's been the same way in every single thing that we've done. And notice in number 6 that it says you're going to evaluate the campaign. Same thing. In everything we've done so far, it ends with evaluating your plan or evaluating your campaign. Right here in the middle, we have just a little bit of a change, but I think you're going to see that it basically follows the same sort of formula. So the second thing we want to do is determine the objectives of the company. What is it that they're trying to do? What do they want to improve? Do they want to improve visibility? Do they want to improve sales? The third thing that they have to do is establish the budget. So you need to know what you're working with. They have to give you a number. The fourth thing is develop the message. So is the message going to be buy this new product? Is the message going to be we care about the environment? Is the message going to be healthy kids, healthy families. What's the message that we really should come up with something around? Number 5, select the appropriate media. Remember that in our last chapter that we talked about, we've got different demographics. We have different age groups, and we find that those different demographics are going to be drawn to different media. And then the last thing, of course, is going to be evaluate the campaign. What you're looking at over on the left-hand side is a really cool campaign, first started out by American Express, and it's going to be called Shop Small. Shop Small Saturday is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. You might remember or be familiar with Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving. So Shop Small is the Saturday, so the next day, and that whole focus is like shopping at your local retail stores, such for us like downtown Westchester, downtown Malvern, downtown Philly, those kind of things, those independently owned businesses. When we take a look at our advertising agencies, I think a quick way to describe this and skip over it real fast is that they're going to work with these companies, and it's typically going to be more of a fee-based kind of thing. They're not going to be employed by them every single day. It's going to be a contract type basis. When we talk about our print ads, we have these 5 different parts of a print ad. So let's take a look at a couple of these examples. If we look at this example on the left-hand side, you can see that we have our illustration taking up most. You can see that our headline at the top should take up approximately 20% of the page, and that your signature, so Toyota right down here, should only take up about 10%. Your copy right here, which is difficult for us to see, your copy should also be about 15% of the page. So it's not going to take up too much of the page, and there's not very much copy there. Let's look at this example on the right. So on the example on the right, a little different layout, obviously for an iPhone. So we've got this large image. That's the biggest thing that we want. We've got our headline right here about 20%. Now in this instance, they actually decided to put quite a bit more copy on here than you're seeing on this sample over here on the left-hand side. So these companies are going to have quite a bit of leeway on what they would like to do. Just a quick example for you of an Instagram post and how this would relate to looking at these different percentages. So if we take a look at our Instagram post again, we've got this major image going on right here. In this case, you can see at this company that Hootsuite is going to be the name of the company. So we've got that signature going on right here. And then you've got your copy right down here and your headline right here at the top. So these are some of the different things that we want to take a look at. Here are a couple other examples for you, and again, you're going to notice the layout of those. So right now, let's come on over here and take a look at your activity you're going to be asked to work on this week. This week, you're going to be asked to work on this PJs Change the Luck of a Child, and you're going to be asked to create a poster, a print ad, or possibly an Instagram or a Facebook post. Let's go on down here and take a look at where these details are going to come from. So in our directions, we're going to work with Canva or Adobe Spark or another desktop publishing thing, and you have your option of what you're going to do. You're only going to create one thing. I'm going to give you a quick run through on Canva. If you would like more information, right here is a 90-second clip on how to get started with Canva. And right below it is a longer version of what's going on with Canva if you need help with that. For our print ad and our poster, here are where our details are going to come from. And again, I would encourage you to come on in here and take a look at these details. This is going to show you the size of what's going on for these different things. Now let's flip over and take a look at Canva very quickly. In Canva, what we're looking at, I'm going to be signed into my free account already. I'm going to get started. I'm going to say create a design. I think in this case, I'm actually going to choose a social media post. We've worked with Canva a little bit before, but when you choose social media post, I would encourage you to choose one of the templates. I'm just going to quickly select this one right here. Notice that it pops up and says free. I'm going to click on it one time. After I click on it one time, it's going to come on over here for me, and I can just double click, highlight everything, and I can enter new text like that. If I want to play around a little bit more, I'm going to slide this over the window so you can see. I can also go in and I can choose different photos if I would like. They have a bank of photos if you would like that you can put in, so we can just kind of drag them over if you would rather do that. And you can play around with it. You can come on in and you can actually upload pictures that you might. So we go to uploads